Welcome in, Buckeye Nation. Happy Wednesday evening. It is Wednesday, November the 20th. I am Jake Smith. You found the Everything Buckeye Nation show. That's my co-host, as always, Corey Boyd. Next to me, Corey. The Buckeyes are 10-0, man. Coming into a big matchup this weekend. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. 10-0, undefeated. You know, people trying to make clout off us, running their mouth. We'll get into that. Schedules, poo-poo. We'll get into that. Rankings. It's just a fun time to be a Buckeye. You know, bulletin board material being spread around by some people in the town where you like to gamble. It is what it is. But it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Shout out to everybody. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Appreciate everybody in the comments section already. I'm not surprised. Of course, there's a big one this weekend, Saturday at noon against Penn State. We'll be talking a lot about that and talk about the freshly released college football playoff rankings. First, want to shout out everybody in the comments. Clyde Boyd, Laura BP, Alejandro Lopez, Julie Royer, Clyde Boyd, again, Lee Travis. Appreciate everybody. The usual folks in here, David Hemphill, Norman Klein, what's happening? Appreciate you guys. We are live on YouTube as well. Feel free to go over on that page. Give us a like and a subscribe. Trying to grow that page up. But the Buckeyes remained at number 2 in the playoff rankings. I think that's fine. No sense in getting too fired up about them right this second. I don't think. But I don't think Ohio State did enough. Certainly beating Rutgers 56-21. It wasn't really our best showing, but it's Rutgers. I mean, how do you get a group fired up for that? And we scored 3 touchdowns in the first 10 minutes of the game. It's like, I don't know. Obviously, we would have loved to shut them out 100-0, but that's just not realistic. So, I don't know. Ohio State stays at 2. I'm fine with it. LSU is at number 1. The top 7 teams remain unchanged. LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Bama at 5, and then Oregon and Utah 6 and 7. I'm starting to get a little interested in LSU's defense, though, Corey. They gave up 614 yards of offense to Ole Miss, who's won 4 games this year. They gave up over 400 yards on the ground. What do you think about that, dude?
Bro, first of all, shout out to my guy, Brian McGee. He's over on YouTube. He says, always good to see you guys. Thanks, go Brian. Buckeyes. He usually comments on Facebook, but hey, he decided to slide over to YouTube, show us some love there, so shout out to him. If you're watching on YouTube, I am monitoring those comments with seriousness, so you can go ahead and give us a shout out. I got you. Don't worry. I will get to your comment. Shout out to YouTube. Listen. Now, right now, it seems like LSU, they've been known for their defense and their quarterbacks have stunk. They have stink. They couldn't score, but their defense is ferocious. You try to score on them, no, but then they will punt it away, Mr. 3 and out. But now it's reversed. Joe Burrow is lighting it up, and their defense is holy as Swiss cheese. I mean, you could score all over them. And I'm like, this is enticing to me. Let's play LSU, because I'm like, hey, they may score on us, but our defense is pretty darn good, okay? Pass rush is pretty darn nice. Our guy Chase Young says he has 27 bags of Lay's potato chips on his shoulder. Okay, I am exaggerating a little bit, but he Instagram posts and said, alrighty then. Our defense is pretty good. Their defense is pretty bad, and our offense is pretty good. That smells like a good recipe to me. So, Ole Miss dropped points on them. Ole Miss. Eli Manning is not walking through that door, all right? And they dropped points on them. To answer your question, I like it. You need defense to win a championship at the end of the day. You can score all the points you want. You make mistakes on offense. It happens. Your defense has to stop somebody, ladies and gentlemen. And LSU has shown, if you look at all their games they won, it's been shootouts after shootout after shootout. Yeah, Rutgers scored 21 on us. But look, me and you might as well have been playing defense then by the time they scored, right? Okay? So I don't want to hear it with the Rutgers. They scored 21. Look. Okay, the trainers were out there playing by that time. So I don't want to hear nothing about Rutgers scoring 21 points. Miss me with that. So, listen, I like LSU's defense. Keep playing the way you're playing. It looks good for Ohio State.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's kind of funny that the two teams who've scored the most points on Ohio State this year is Rutgers and Florida Atlantic. I don't know if that'll be the case in the coming weeks, but we can hope so. I'm excited for this defense to get a real test and play a full game. So we'll see about that. You got a good comment over there?
Yeah, my guy Brian, he says their defense is dumpster juice over on YouTube. Sophie's on YouTube said, I wanted Rutgers to be 100-0. Hey, I can't lie. That would have been nice. If we kept our starters in, it might have been 100-0, to be honest. It might have been 100-0. Buckeye Eagle says, hey, guys, good to see you. Charles Valentine says, Ole Miss had 614 yards on that LSU defense. And Buckeye says, I need a hoodie like Corey's. I appreciate that, man.
And I said that before.
You said that earlier. I appreciate that. I mean, it's nice, man. It is nice. That defense is looking good and prime for our offense. And like you said, Jake, it'll be nice for our defense to play 4 quarters, but if we don't have to, I'll take it. It'll be nice for our quarterback to play 4 quarters, but if he doesn't have to, I'll take it.
Hey, Justin Fields has 41 touchdowns on the year, and he's thrown 13 passes in the fourth quarter all year combined. 13 passes in the fourth quarter all year. And he's got 41 touchdowns. Imagine if these are full games he's playing. Be ridiculous. He'd be the Heisman frontrunner by far. And that's the funny thing. They asked J.K. Dobbins a couple days ago, like, are you excited to finally be able to play all 4 quarters in a four-quarter game coming up? And, you know, J.K.'s thinking he's got Penn State to deal with, who's got the number 1 rush defense in the country. And then you've got the Wolverines and potentially somebody in the Big Ten title game. And he said, J.K. Dobbins said, well, who said those have to be 4-quarter games as well? I was like, okay. I like that confidence. I like that. If we're up by 5 touchdowns in the second half, they're probably not playing in the next couple of weeks. But, hey, I don't know, man. That LSU defense is something else, so that'd be good. I'd be happy to match up with them. Scott Ewing in here, John Ola, Josh Robideau, David Hemphill. David Hemphill said, do you think Bama even has a chance now that Tua is done for the season? That is something I wanted to talk about. You never want to see this kind of thing. I thought that Alabama was primed to get into that number 4 slot because that quality loss against LSU, even though Bama's schedule is garbage, and they haven't really done enough to put together that resume to really belong in that top 4. The resume's not there. The talent is, or at least it was, until Tua Tagovailoa went down with a broken hip. Man, this dude is made of glass. Is this Brandon Roy out there, Corey?
Man, listen, I'm sad that he's hurt. Okay,
Me too.
I'm sad because I don't want any. First of all, I don't like seeing anybody get hurt. First of all, first and foremost, you never want to see anybody get hurt. And as fans that cheer when somebody get hurt, I hate that too. Stop it. It's a game. You don't want to see humans get hurt. And second of all, Nick Saban, stop trying to outsmart yourself, all right? We know you're a great coach. Stop it. There was no reason for him to even be in the game at that point. And third of all, yeah, you got to start looking at him being injury prone if you're an NFL scout with one of those top picks. Don't outsmart yourself. Pick the best player on the board. Cough, cough, Chase Young. I'm just saying, don't outsmart yourself. And now I think the playoff committee now is really scrambling here because they want to think of any reason to put Alabama in. Any reason they can. If Alabama can do anything to get in, oh, they're putting them in. But now, without Tua, I don't know now. It's going to be tough sledding to find a reason to put them in. Not an SEC champion. No Tua. Do you really want to do that to yourselves? I don't know. That's going to be a tough sell for me now.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a hot take, it might not be, but provided there isn't absolute ridiculous chaos in the next 3 weeks, Bama's done. This is it. They're done. Book it, take it to the bank. They're done. The season is over. Because listen, all right, everyone's talking about Mac Jones at quarterback, all right? Well, that's great, and maybe he'll do a great job against Western Carolina this week. And believe me, we will get into that and those schedules. Believe me, I will find a way to fit it in. But then you've just got Auburn. Auburn's a 3-loss team. They're 7-3 right now. And Auburn plays Samford this weekend with an M. And they're going to be 8-3, and if that's going to be Bama's best win. If their best win is over an 8-3 Auburn team, a 4-loss Auburn team is your best win. Because here's the thing, and they've talked about it on ESPN since Tua went down. Hey, Cardale Jones. You guys remember Cardale Jones?
Yep.
Like, this is a completely different story, especially because Ohio State got into their conference championship game and had a shot to play a Wisconsin team that is far better than this year's Auburn team, and we shut them out 59-0. Alabama needs that type of game. They need a 59-0 over a big-time team, but that's the thing, is they don't have a big-time team to play, and especially they're not in their own conference championship game, so that's it. It's over with. It's done. If LSU manages to lose, and so does Georgia, and so do both Pac-12 teams, and maybe Oklahoma again, and it's just all hell's broken loose, then who knows? Maybe Bama slips in. It's not happening.
Yeah. And I'm a man of my word. I am on these YouTube comments like a hawk, and they're coming in. Brian echoed J.K. Dobbins' comments. I'm ready to play 4 quarters, but my question is, who says I'll need to play 4 quarters as Jake is repping his J.K. Dobbins jersey? Sophie says, I see Dobbins on my way to class every Monday. I'm always too scared to say hi, though. Oh, man, Sophie. Hey, you got to do it. You got to do it. Just walk up to him and be like, hey. My name is Sophie. Cheryl says, hey, fellas. Hey, mama. My mom in the comments on YouTube, I'm still kind of worried about Penn State. We'll get to them a little later. Brian says, overcompensating for that ankle injury, Tua should not have been playing. I agree with you, Brian. And Charles says, the only way Bama gets in now is if Oregon has another loss to Georgia, loses another game. Another loss, I'm sorry. And if Georgia loses another game, beats LSU in the SEC championship, and a 2-loss SEC champion will not get in because of 2 losses. Hey, that's a lot there.
There is a lot there. I appreciate everybody over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button for us. Appreciate that. Yeah, man, I mean, it's just chaos, really, is the only way Bama gets in. Los Dos over here on Facebook said, so Georgia should get the 4 spot? Laughing, crying face. No, Georgia, I mean, right now they're in the 4th spot because of their wins, not because of their loss, which is clearly the worst loss to South Carolina, who just keeps losing. Georgia's got wins over Auburn and Florida, which apparently is a big deal in the SEC. Florida's in at number 11 somehow with 2 losses, but their 2 losses were to Georgia and LSU. Those are quality losses. Man, I hate the whole quality loss argument.
Yeah. Me too. There's no such thing as a quality loss, all right? Even I'm saying that as a Ohio State fan. Who says, you know what, man, woo, that loss felt great. That was some quality losing there, buddy. No, you lost. End of the story. An L is an L. You don't get brownie points. Well, look at the schedule they put on there. If that was the fact, everybody would have tough schedules. They don't, because they don't want to lose. They want to go perfect. This is Jake's favorite week of the year, and he's going to talk about that a little later. Ooh. His favorite week of the year. So I hate that quality loss crap.
I do too, man.
But our girl Laura BP says, I want Justin versus Georgia so bad.
Boy, wouldn't that be something? We could get. There's a lot of potential transfer matchups. I mean, you could get Justin Fields against Georgia. You could get Jalen Hurts and Oklahoma could play Bama. That'd be pretty cool. Obviously, Joe Burrows at LSU. They could play Ohio State. With this new era of the transfer portal, man, we're gonna see a lot of that in the next, in the coming years, and that's just good TV. I'm here for it.
Yeah. And our guy Brian on YouTube says he got us on his 60-inch screen TV.
Damn.
So we got to make sure we are as crisp as possible.
Brian, do us a favor. Take a picture with your phone or something, if you can. Put it in the comments or send it to us. I'm curious to see that. That's pretty cool stuff, man. I appreciate that. I had a comment I wanted to get to here. Lee, no, not Lee Travis. Appreciate everybody in the Facebook comments section. Josh Robideau, our number one supporter. What do you guys think about the Wolverines being 3-point favorites? I'm not sure what you mean because I know they're not going to be favored against Ohio State. So I don't know if early lines are released or not yet, but I can't imagine that being the case. Maybe them against Indiana this week.
Was that the favorite at the beginning of the year against Ohio State?
I know they were favored. I don't know if it was a 3-point favorite or what, which is kind of dumb because that's just a home field. Home field advantage gives you a 3-point favorite pretty much every time, or 3 points towards the spread, I should say. Okay. So I don't know. We'll see about that, but that game is next week, and I'm not thinking about it right now because if we don't win this week, we're not going to play in the Big Ten championship game, and that's a big deal. That's happened to us. That happened to us in 2015 and in 2016, where we only lost one game, but it happened to be to the team that represented the Big Ten East, and we didn't even get to go to the Big Ten championship game. And I want nothing to do with that because we've seen, if you leave it up to the committee, Corey, they're going to screw us. All right?
Oh, yeah.
So just take care of business. Win your games. Don't let the committee think about it. Because what it should come down to for us is Ohio State getting the number 1 seed or is LSU getting the number 1 seed?
All right. I got 2 conflicting comments here. I don't mean to cut you off.
Do it. I was done.
Josh says Vegas has them over us right now by 3.
Damn.
Vegas. And then Scott says that was the favorite at the beginning of the year. So I need to know which one is correct. Because if Vegas has Michigan by 3 over us, I'm betting the house right now. Yeah. I need a private jet to fly me to Vegas. Has anybody got one? Let's put our bank accounts together because I'm going there right now. Are you kidding me? Really? Okay.
Corey, let's use let's use this joint PayPal account of ours and come together on this if we can get in on that action. I tell you what. Sam Frank in the comments section, appreciate you, Sam, says Ohio State club football is number 1 in the nation as well, playing in the semifinals this weekend. That's pretty cool, man. The club football team that plays just outside the shoe on those fields, number 1 in the country, playing in the semifinals. Just a preview, really, of what's to come for the Buckeyes that play inside the shoe. So appreciate that comment, Sam. That's pretty sweet. Sean Skelton says, losing to an undefeated Gophers team is better than losing to South Carolina. That's an interesting point because they've got Penn State at 8 and Georgia at 4. Georgia has that awful loss, and Penn State's only loss was to unbeaten the number 10 team in the country now, Minnesota. I think the committee just does what they want to do week in and week out. And then hopefully it doesn't matter when it comes time for the Final Four because that's what everyone's freaking out about. Right now, people are freaking out about teams, 4 through 10 because they want to be in that 4th spot. Well, when it's selection Saturday, or I guess selection Sunday, and they're just hoping that they get chalk. So it's easy for them to pick the 4 teams, because if you're at, you could be number 5 or you could be number 25. It really doesn't matter. You're not in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're just right now trying to get by. And I saw somebody said on the teleconference after the ratings were released, somebody commented on LSU's defense to the chairman, like, because the 2 words LSU defense has not been brought up at all in the entire CFB ranking so far. So, and he just went right back to the win over Alabama. It's like, well, okay, how about the 400 rushing yards that Ole Miss put on them? I don't know, man. It seems fun. I always say I'm not going to get fired up about these rankings because they're pointless right now. Just take care of business, do your job, and it'll all work out. Yet here I am. I'm getting fired up.
Yes, you are.
It's what we do, I guess.
And Brian on Facebook said, "Oh, it's coming," and he posted it to the FB page, the 60-inch screenshot. So he says it's on the FB page.
Well, I'm going to have to check that out here in a little bit. David Hemphill says, I loved Urban Meyer's response when asked if he knew the words to the Wolverines fight song. Did you see this?
Yes, I did. Carrie Lynn posted it, and I seen it, and I lost it. I didn't see it live, but I seen it when she posted it. That was classic, man.
If you haven't seen the video, go to our Facebook page. It's on there, down in our post a few days back from the weekend. Yeah, like you said, Carrie posted it, and Charles Woodson asks, you can hear the Wolverines fight song playing, and Charles Woodson asks Urban Meyer, do you know the words to that fight song? Just kind of having a little fun, and Urban kind of chuckles and just says, I know 7-0, and then the rest of the staff is like, oh. It's, I tell you, man, it's almost an extra recruiting piece to have Urban Meyer up there.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, man. And what can Charles Woodson say? Nothing. He just has to take it.
Bro, did you see him up there at halftime of the Wolverines and Wisconsin game?
Yeah.
It was his first day on the job in studio there. And the Wolverines were just waxed. And he was like dead inside, dude. I actually felt bad for him. That's how bad it was. But, man, I tell you, that is a great video. Chad Hamilton says Vegas has Ohio State at minus 13.5 over the Wolverines right now. So that sounds a little bit more reasonable. But like we've said, that's next week. We'll be doing plenty of talk about that next week. Right now, we've got the number 8 team coming into the Horseshoe on Saturday. Ohio State was favored. They've been favored by, a fairly good amount in the past few years, and they've been crazy close each time. Last year, Ohio State needed a crazy comeback in the fourth quarter just to win by 1 point. Oh, by the way, the year before that, Ohio State needed a crazy comeback in the fourth quarter just to win by 1 point. The year before that, we get an extra point or a field goal attempt blocked, return for a touchdown, and we lose by 3 in Penn State. This has been an incredibly close matchup for the last 3 years. And I got to say, man, I can't figure out where I stand on this game. I'm either half the time I'm really confident because Penn State's secondary is garbage and our offensive and defensive lines are far better than theirs. On the other side, in the last 3 years, Penn State has the edge in points by 1 point, and we escaped. You remember I called you last year.
Yeah.
I said, How the hell did we just do that?
Yeah.
I'm worried, man. I don't know.
Norman Klein on YouTube says now we're on the 55-inch screen. So we're just moving up, man. We're getting on bigger and bigger screens. I'm with you, Jake. When I seen the spread, then I said, come on. I don't like bulletin board material. Mm-hmm. And that's all that is to me. Oh, 3 touchdowns, huh? They already got beat by Minnesota, and they looked pathetic. Last week, they didn't look good. And now you're just going to get three touchdowns? I understand. Listen, We've looked like juggernauts all year, minus Florida Atlantic, which nobody really cares about. Throw out the second half against Rutgers. We've looked like juggernauts. Our quarterback doesn't play fourth quarters. That's how bad it's been. And this makes me nervous when we're 3 touchdown favorites against a team just a couple of weeks ago was a number 4 team in the playoff rankings. Now, you can say they never should have been there, and I will not argue with you with that. I will not be like, what are you talking about? No, I won't even argue that. But the committee thought they were that good to put them at number 4. Now, the committee is stupid sometimes. Yes, we will agree with that. But they put them there. And now 2 weeks later, you're telling me we are 3 touchdown favorites over a playoff team. That was a playoff team. Woo!
Could still be.
And could still be. Now, there's a difference in beating somebody by 3 touchdowns and supposed to beat somebody by 3 touchdowns. That's a totally different ball game. That means when you step on that field, hey, guess what? You got to win by 18. It's not that, man. We beat Penn State by 18 points. We are good. No, if you beat them by 16 points, you failed. What? That's what you're telling me? So 30-14 ain't good enough? No, ain't good enough. Oh, okay. That mind boggles me because the way this rivalry is, it's a Big Ten football game. Man, and I know we're good. We got Chase Young coming back, which I think actually, if we do cover this and beat them down, will be because of that. Because of the anger he is going to have going into this game. That may be the deciding factor. He may want to, okay, I'm using this in hyperbole. He's not going to kill anyone, but you know what I mean. He's going to want to rip off that quarterback's shoulder pads and just throw him into the stands. But it makes me nervous.
Chase Young is going to go Myles Garrett on Sean Clifford.
Right. It makes me nervous when we have a spread like this. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you, man. I mean, I've seen it 18, 18 and a half, 19, 19 and a half. I mean, it's funny because, I'm sitting down. I'm trying to think of my score predictions for this game. And we'll get to those here in a little bit. I suppose I might as well switch over the old frame here since we're talking Penn State. I am finding it hard to decide between right around that number, an 18-point win, something like that, or a real nail-biter. And the thing is, for me, I'm not looking for style points right now. For this game, I just want to win by any means necessary. If we win 3-2, I'm a happy man. Now, I hope to God that doesn't happen, but if that's the only way to win, sign me up. Because I don't care how ugly it looks, we have to win this game. If we win this game, we've clinched the Big Ten East. And then, which I was having this conversation today, it's kind of funny. If we beat Penn State this week, we clinch the Big Ten East. There's nothing to play for in Ann Arbor next week. Literally nothing other than pride and wanting to beat their ass because they are the Wolverines. We could sit our starters. I saw a tweet from Tony Gerdeman today, the Ozone, one of my favorite follows, great guy. He said, I'm calling dibs on if Ohio State wins this weekend to write my column about how Ohio State should sit their stars versus the Wolverines. And, obviously it's tongue-in-cheek. It's not actually going to go down that way. But this is the only game that matters. Because if we don't beat Penn State this week, we've got to win next week and hope Penn State loses to Rutgers. Okay? That's not going to happen. So if we don't win this game, we're not going to Indy. And then it's up in the air for the committee's decision. Is it Alabama? Is it Oklahoma? Is it Oregon? Is it Ohio State? All of these variables come into play for who's in the one-loss team, and then the committee decides. Don't let them have that opportunity.
There is no up in the air. I'll give you the decision. Ohio State's out, okay? Until I'm proven wrong otherwise. They don't like us, okay? And you can say, well, that's just the biasness in you coming out. You never know. No. No. We have to go undefeated. That is the end of it. We can't lose a game. It's too late in the year. You cannot lose now. Losing now is it. Now, if Penn State was undefeated, maybe. Just maybe. They've already lost the game. We lose here. No. We got to win out. To me, the committee, just give them an excuse to put us in. Oh, nope, they lost. It is over. Send them packing. It is a wrap. We got to win today. Wouldn't it be funny, though, if we say, you know what? Let's just play our backups against Michigan. They're that bad. Who cares? And still beat them. That would be some funny stuff. But this game makes me nervous, man. I hate that we're that big of favorites. But like I've said this all year long, and I'm going to be a man of my word. This is a new regime, and I'm going to treat it like that. I am not going to treat it, and it's no disrespect to Urban and no disrespect to them, but my nervousness comes from what's happened in the past. I'm going to let this regime do its thing, and then let my actions take course. Of course, I'm going to be nervous, but I'm not going to go off what's happened in the past and, oh my God, I'm scared. Oh my, what's going to happen? No. Until they let me down, I will not go in Saturday and be like, oh, here we go. Same Ohio State. No. Not until Ryan Day and his crew lets me down, because he has these boys buttoned up, playing football, and killing people on the field. Not literally killing, but you get what I'm saying. Of course I'm going to be nervous. Every Saturday I'm nervous, but not nervous they're going to let me down. Just nervous because it's the football game, and I want us to win. So until they let me down, I have faith in this team. And like you said, Jake, 3-2, 27-24, 24-21. I'll take any score. Just go beat those Penn State Nittany Lions.
I'm with you, man. Couldn't have said it better myself. Want to take time here. Appreciate everybody in the comments section on Facebook and YouTube. Do us a favor. Share this into your favorite Buckeye groups, whether that be Facebook or wherever you're watching. Get them in here. We got half an hour left. So introduce your friends to us. Appreciate that.
We got some YouTube. Brian said, I've accepted the fact that no matter who OSU beats, people will say we haven't played anyone. And my guy Ray is back. Yo, my dudes, this game is already taking hours from my sleep already and clearly ruining my grammar too.
Hey, is that our guy Ray out in California time?
Yeah, that's Ray with the beard challenge.
That's right. Forgot about that. Man, I'm with you. Let us know in the comment section how you're feeling about this game. Are you confident? Do you think Ohio State covers the 18.5 point spread, whatever it is? Cody Masteller, he is pretty confident, says we're going to expose them. We win by 21. Our guy David Campbell, this team and Coach Day will pound Penn State. Chad Hamilton says, I've heard this nickname a lot for Penn State, and I like it. State Penn, like the penitentiary for what they did to those kids. They'll treat this game like it's their national championship. I totally agree. I mean, James Franklin has come so close the last 2 years, and lucky for him, in 2016, that whole blocked field goal, that was just a disaster for Ohio State. But it saved his job. He was going to be fired if he lost that game. And he's turned Penn State into a hell of a team. Just from that game itself, because they went on, they used that momentum from beating Ohio State. They didn't lose again. They won the Big Ten championship and then got snubbed from the playoffs for Ohio State. Ohio State got into the playoffs, a team Penn State beat, and Ohio State got in anyway, and then proceeded to get shut out by Clemson, but that's a different story. Then James Franklin turns right around, goes up 21-3 on the Buckeyes in the shoe, has a monumental letdown. I don't know what you want to call that game, whether it was a Penn State letdown or JT Barrett being the best JT Barrett we've ever seen, completed his final 16 passes, had 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and Ohio State squeaks by with a 1-point win. Then last year, they get him back at home in the whiteout. Penn State, worst place to play in the country. And Ohio State comes back from 2 touchdowns down in the fourth quarter, wins by a point. This is the Penn State National Championship. Penn State's a playoff team, folks. If they win this game, they're winning out and they're in the playoffs. So this is their biggest game of the year. They've lost by 2 points total in the last 2 years. Dude, they are going to come out with their hair on fire and pissed off and ready to ruin our perfect season. And I can't decide if I think Ohio State's going to win by 20 or if they're going to win by 1. And I'm nervous, man. I really am. Connie Wilson agrees. Hi, guys. This game scares me. Even though I know how great our Buckeyes are, Penn State's no cupcake. I hope we beat the hell out of them. I can't stand them, but we can't get cocky or celebrate before the fat lady sings. Just saying. Anyway, go Bucks. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Timothy Roberts on YouTube says, I wish Penn State would have went that year, talking about the playoffs. And Brian says, special teams is always a concern for me.
Well, it's interesting. Special teams has looked a lot better this year, which is kind of funny because that was always Urban's thing. But what I haven't liked in the past few weeks is it's the punting game. And you wouldn't think I'd be sitting here saying that, at the beginning of the season. Drew Chrisman's been fantastic for us, but I don't know, like the last month or so, it's been kind of off. There have been some shanks, there have been some weird things going on in the protection, real close to getting blocked. He did get blocked against Wisconsin. That led to their only touchdown of the game. It was like last year, Drew Chrisman was down in punts inside the 10 once a game, sometimes twice a game. And that helps when you got Terry McLaurin and Jeff Okudah as your gunners. But this year, not much has changed. Okudah's still out there. You've got Jamison Williams and one gunner sometimes, but the punting game has been a little weird, and we're gonna need Drew Chrisman to pin the Nittany Lions deep here a couple times on Saturday because their offense is pretty good, but I don't think they're gonna be able to really drive the ball that much. It's gonna be a fantastic test for this Buckeye defense, man. This is what you come to Ohio State for, this type of game. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Wish it was Saturday at noon right now.
You too. Brad on Facebook says 40-10. Wow.
I would love it. I've seen a lot, and some of the Buckeye writers that I'll listen to or read their stuff, say, like, I think that Ohio State really will show and flex their muscle this week and show that they are the best team in the country. And they got Ohio State by 21 points. And I want to think that. That's my default thought, is to think Ohio State wins this game 45-21. And that might be my prediction in 20 minutes. It might be. But at the same time, I've felt very confident in the last 3 years playing Penn State. Now, granted, 2 of those were whiteouts, and next year's will be as well at night. You can bet your ass on it. 12 noon kickoff. Oh, my God. I'm not getting started. Not going down that road. It is what it is. But I felt confident in the last 3 years, too, that Ohio State would win and show that they're the better team by a couple touchdowns. Well, it hasn't happened. It's been decided by a combined 5 points, a 3-point win for Penn State in 2016, and 1-point wins for Ohio State the past 2 years. This is a talented team now. They don't have Trace McSorley, which is a big deal for me, in my opinion. Sean Clifford's a good quarterback. He went to St. X in Cincinnati. He's an Ohio kid, so this game probably means a hell of a lot to him. We talked a lot about that when we played Cincinnati and when we played Michigan State. This is going to be a huge game for him because that kid grew up wanting to go play at Ohio State. He didn't even sniff an offer from the Buckeyes. He's probably pissed off about that. They've got a really good team. So I don't know, man. there's a lot of confidence out there for a Big Ten Buckeye win, and that's my initial thought. That's my gut feeling, but then this black doubt starts to creep into my head, man. I don't know. I can't get rid of it.
David Hemphill makes a good point. He said, he says, battle of the networks, ESPN, College Game Day, Fox, and Big Ten Network will all be in Columbus on Saturday. Just shows you how big of a game this is. Oh, he said the last network. Big Ten Network, get it together. Your camera quality on your pre-show sucks, okay? He's getting me started again. That's where dumpster juice came from. My goodness, the quality of that camera. Jake, my guy, every time I see it, I throw up in my mouth. It is terrible. It's like 481p, not even 480. It's like one little notch up from 480. It is absolutely terrible. Do they not see how bad the quality? Like you're a national network. You can't get better quality than that. Oh Lord, they should have just kept them at home somewhere. Okay, they don't even deserve to be at this game. Holy crap. Okay, I didn't know where that came from, but he put in BTN and I lost my mind because every time I see that pregame show, I just want to throw a baby seal somewhere. Why a baby seal? I don't know. Poor seals, they just got it for no reason. But back to what I was going to say about this game. That just came from nowhere. Oh, my goodness. I think Chase Young's going to be the factor to this game. I really do. Not having McSorley is a big deal.
Dude.
Huge deal. As soon as he sees Chase Young, he's running. He is gone. He's probably going to scamper somewhere. From what I've seen, I watched a little bit of the Minnesota game. This guy is not, he's no Chase McSorley when it comes to running. Maybe a better passer. But he's no runner like Chase McSorley, and that makes me happy. You know how I feel about mobile quarterbacks. When they're not in Ohio State, I hate them. I hate them. And I think Chase Young is going to make a huge difference. Not only did you suspend him, guess what you did? You gave him 2 weeks of rest. Hello. You gave him a 2-week bye week. Not a paid, no, don't say paid. I don't want to get him. No. You gave him a non-paid vacation. Hello. He's going to be the freshest person on the field. That's a bad situation for your offensive line. I think he is going to be the key to this game. Oh, Corey, thank you for enlightening us. Everybody can say that, but I'm just saying. He's back, and he's going to eat on their offensive line. And if you just watch the game, when they ran to his side of the field, it looked different without Chase Young being there. That's not going to be there either. And I can't wait. I think he's going to be the difference in this football game. I'm not going to give you my score now, but he made a good point in that comment. Everybody is going to be at this game. Every network, every small market wants a piece of this football game. Are you watching Fox? Are you watching Corso to see who he's going to pick? I'm telling you right now, he's pulling out that Buckeye head. Early spoiler alert. You don't have to wait till 12. That's who he's picking.
I'm with you. Let me know in the comment section, folks, who you guys are going to be watching. Are you going to the game, or are you going to be watching Big Noon Kickoff on Fox with Urban Meyer, or ESPN's College Game Day with Kirk Herbstreit? I don't think anybody's tuning in for the Big Ten Network pregame show. You wouldn't be able to see it anyway. But that is what it is. Personally, if I had the choice, I would pick Big Noon Kickoff. I think Fox does a hell of a job. Urban Meyer is fantastic on television, dude. Absolutely fantastic. And Game Day's just more of a pageantry show. It's almost like I don't know, man. It's not. It's like they're trying too hard nowadays. Big Noon Kickoff is a lot better, in my opinion. And I think you'll see that this week because a lot of Ohio State fans, myself included, I imagine most of our viewers, are tired of the ESPN bias against Ohio State. And Fox is like, we'll take everything Ohio State. We'll promote the hell out of Ohio State. Now, granted, they're the ones that made it a noon kickoff, which I got a bone to pick about that. One 5-star defensive end prospect was planning on making a visit to Ohio State with Larry Johnson for the biggest game of the year, but it's a noon game. He can't make it because his team's still in the playoffs, and they play in Texas Friday night. And he said, Corey, man, whoever made that a noon game should be fired. The kid, the 5-star recruit, I said, hell yeah, man. That's what I like to hear. But go see Big Noon Kickoff. All right. Couple of score predictions early here. Cody Masteller says 42-17. David Campbell, says 44-14. Michael Egan's has the most ultimate confidence in Coach Day and that we will roll on Saturday. Scott Ewing says, no way in hell we need to have the mentality of nothing to play for in Ann Arbor. Yeah, it's just kind of poking the bear a little bit. Lostos agrees. Can't lose a game at all. The committee hates us. Everybody agrees. Man, I tell you what. Yeah. We got a lot to play for.
We got YouTube comments coming in. Big Noon Fox says Bryant. Buckeye Eagle says 3 sacks for Chase Young, 5 tackles for a loss. Timothy says excuse absence, Corey. Ray says Big Ten network is trash. They need new equipment and crew. Timothy says Big Ten cams blows. Timothy also said we've been skeptical all year on score predictions and spoke about trap games. Neither have been accurate or close. This team is very special. And he said Corey's hoodie is fire. And Sophie says, I want a night game so bad. And since he's entered the chat, I was going to wait to the end of the stream to say this, but he is here. It's the guy that makes us look good, the graphic that you see. I was going to wait to the end of the stream, but he has entered. Happy birthday to G. We call him G. His real government name is Gary Likens. He's probably going to beat me up for saying that, but I don't care. It's his birthday. Happy birthday to G. Out in Cali, it's 419. I don't know what he's doing, but happy birthday to my guy and Jake's guy, G.
I got a feeling I know what he'll be doing 1 minute from now. Happy birthday, G, man. We appreciate you more than you could ever know. And glad you've joined the chat if you are still in here. Clearly all of the commenters are happy. Josh Robideau says he'll be getting drunk with Zach Smith before the game. The Zach Smith Menace to Society, whatever. I think he may have changed the name of the show. But they got their own tailgate. That'll be fun to see. And there is G himself. Appreciates all the fans, as he does. Go follow his new page, 11 Cowboys, if you're a Cowboys fan, or if you just love Producer G, like all of us.
Yes. Follow his 11 Cowboys page, and if you want to see the sickest Madden live streams ever, Sundays, he streams Madden 20 live. That's all I'm going to say. Check it out. Sundays.
Those graphics are pretty damn good.
Yeah, man. He's got the newest Madden 20 that you have ever seen, and it is sweet. 11 Cowboys.
Go check it out. Corey, Clyde always chimes in with I think it's his favorite line, your favorite producer's favorite producer. That's Producer G. Man, you think we'll get a prediction out of Clyde before this year is over?
You'll get a score prediction. Listen, you're never getting a bold prediction. I know my brother. It's over. He hit it. He is cashed out. It's a wrap. You'll get a score prediction. Now, if he ever hits a score prediction on the nose, you'll never get one of those either. So I'm just telling you.
Well, it is about that time. We got 10 minutes left, so let me hear them in the Facebook comment section, YouTube comment section. Your score prediction for the game and a bold prediction, whether it be a stat about Justin Fields or any player in particular, or we hold them to -2 rushing yards or whatever you want to say. Let us hear it. It's time. So, Corey, let's talk about the game a little bit. Okay, obviously it's more than just number 2, host number 8. There is a hell of a lot on the line, including the Big Ten East Championship. If we win this game, we're into Indy. Big Ten East champs, no doubt about it. If we lose this game, we've got to beat the Wolverines and hope that Rutgers can manage their first conference win of the year next week against Penn State. I don't want to have to count on Rutgers. I don't want to do that. That doesn't make me feel good. So, Ohio State, Penn State for a trip to the Big Ten Championship on the line in the shoe, 12 noon this Saturday on Fox. Man, and if that wasn't enough to get you fired up, I mean, the last 3 games have been so damn close. Penn State's coming in here with the best rushing defense in the country. People don't really seem to talk a lot about that. And maybe part of that is due to the fact that their secondary is pretty weak. So teams are throwing the ball a lot against Penn State. But regardless, they allow about 75 yards per game on the ground. It's best in the country. And it's going to be a challenge. Is J.K. Dobbins going to be able to... I mean, we faced Wisconsin, who had the number 1 rush defense in the country, and we made easy work of that. But a little bit different now. I don't know. What are you looking forward to seeing in this game? What are your big takeaways early on?
I want to see how we start. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I want to see how we start. That is my main concern. How do we start this ball game? Because we've known to play big-time opponents slow. And then we adjust. Penn State's going to try to hit us in the mouth. We've said it's their championship game. They don't care. We just got to take out Ohio State any means necessary. We've been known to not be very good with our scripted plays for whatever reason why. How do we start off? I want to see us start off fast, out the gate, then adjust, and adjust even better. But if we start off slow, a little murky, I don't want to see that. We might, but I want to start off fast. That's going to be the key to me, to see how we start off on offense. Do we put our foot on their throats early and give them no confidence whatsoever? Because if you give the team on the road confidence, then they feel like they're in the game the entire game. If you strip that confidence early, get a lead, then make them one-dimensional, that's when Chase Young and them boys are unleashed and they have no shot. So I want to see how the offense comes out early, see if they put the foot on the throat, make Penn State one-dimensional.
I'm excited to see that as well. A lot of comments in here. First, want to get to my pseudo brother-in-law. Zach Candy says $38.17. That's right where I'm at. The 21 points... That's the initial gut feeling, is that's what I want to go with. I like that prediction. William Dunn is my other... Oh, William, come on. Somebody get on this man. He's just bumming because his guy Tua's down for the year. Our resident Alabama fan says 24-21 Penn State. He's been picking against the Bucs all year. Go ahead.
Let him do it. We've won every game. That's a great pick, man. Great pick.
See if it comes true. Los Dos says 42-17. Allen Russell, 37-10 Bucks. Lee Travis, 34-30. Thinks it's going to be a lot closer. Clyde agrees with you on his prediction stuff. Michael Wilson says 42-10. Fields has 400-plus yards passing. Boy, would I love that.
Whoa.
Clyde says 31-13. And Josh Roboto says Sean Wade with a pick following KJ Hamler all over the field. That's a big thing we haven't talked about, is if KJ Hamler is going to play. If you watched last year's game, you probably remember the freshman taking a slant 93 yards against our porous defense. That was KJ Hamler. And he is still playing for the Nittany Lions, and very good, very fast. Really just a mismatch nightmare. Kind of your Rondale Moore type. A little bit taller. Slot receiver. KJ Hamler left last weekend's game against Indiana with a concussion. James Franklin hasn't said one way or another if he's going to play on Saturday. But put it this way. If KJ Hamler does not play, I'm taking the Buckeyes by 21. No question about it. If he does play... that's a whole different can of worms you're opening, because he is one of the best playmakers in the Big Ten, and he's probably going to go, if he declares for the draft, he doesn't have to, he could. He'll probably be maybe first-round pick, depending on how he tests, but probably second-round pick. The kid is electric, and he worries me. There's no doubt about it. So, great call there by Josh. Stephen Michaels says Dobbins goes off 225 and 3 touchdowns. Lostos agrees 200 plus. Will be nice if JK plays the whole game. And David Hemphill's bold prediction: Chase Young comes back with 4 sacks and 8 tackles for loss. 42-17 Buckeyes.
All right. We got some on YouTube before we go. Timothy shouts you out, Jake. He said he loves the way you're positioned with the Ohio State logo. That is legit. He says he thinks JK has a huge game. He likes my point about the start. Brian says big game for Olave and Dobbins. Tim says if his prediction is right, he deserves my hoodie. He says Buckeyes 24-13. Brian says Buckeyes 38-24. Buckeye Eagles says 38-17 Bucks. He also says Fields gets back-to-back 300-yard passing games and over 350 total yards. And Buckeyes Eagles had 3 sacks for Chase Youngs and 5 tackles for loss. Ooh. You want to go first or me?
I got a couple more I want to get to here.
Okay.
Josh Robideau said Baron Browning needs to shadow Clifford. They've got a great tight end too, Freiermuth. They got some talent, man. Sean Skelton says they don't find the end zone. Our defense is the truth, and until someone proves a weakness, there isn't one. I like that. That's real nice. Zach says Chris Olave got 2 receiving touchdowns and makes a big special teams play. That sounds about right, man. Chris Olave he's just the guy. It seems like we don't have a true number 1 receiver, but he's been getting the most targets and making the big catches on third downs. Chris Olave, man, the Penn State secondary is not very good. 82nd in the country giving up passing yards, kind of bad. So it's going to be a big day for Fields. Maybe Chris Olave. I mean, hell, we've got so many damn receivers. I think Austin Mack's finally going to play. They've been resting him for a while. And Paul Mangin says, Mangin, let me know, Paul, how you pronounce it. 28-10 in favor of the good guys due to weather looking to be an issue. Both teams will have their ears pinned back and focused on the run game. And Michael Wilson says Malik Harrison with a big game. It is supposed to be 45 and potentially rainy on Saturday. They're saying 50% chance of rain. So I'm like, okay. So it's either going to rain or it's not. Pretty much every other game. I don't know. I'm not too worried about the weather. We proved we can handle that against Wisconsin. So, Corey, why don't you go ahead? Why don't you give yours? If you got comments, hit them, and then you're bold and score predictions.
No comments. Well, Josh Robideau came in. He said if Cooper is back, Chase Young will eat all day long. My bold prediction is they peels the playbook a little bit more for this game, and you will see more of a dual threat Justin Fields than you've seen all year long, because the game has more of importance to it. So my bold prediction entails Justin Fields 300 yards passing and 100 yards rushing. Woo! That is big time for a game like this. I think he peels it back, and there will be more read options in this ball game. If you want to crash on J.K. Dobbins, he's going to unleash a little bit more of Justin Fields this game, because he hasn't had him run that much. He had a couple design runs. If I believe it was against Michigan State, just a couple. And we were like, whoa, we like that. And then he said, we're going to just shelve that away. I think we'll see a couple more this game. And my score, I'm going to go 35 Ohio State, 17 Penn State, covering the spread by a hair. I
like it, man. I really, really love the Justin Fields comparison because he's gonna air it out. People don't know he went for 300 yards against Rutgers last week. That's his first time over 300 yards all year. That was his first game. His previous high was 234. We just haven't needed him to throw the ball really, but he can, obviously. And he's going to get the opportunity against Penn State this week. I think we will come out early and try and run the ball, try and open that up a little bit. Because if Fields is doing his deed, throwing the ball against that weak Penn State secondary, that's going to open up all kinds of run lanes for J.K. Dobbins and Master Teague. So offensively, I want to go with a wide receiver. I'm going to go with two guys on offense, and then I'll throw in a bonus on defense just for the hell of it because I like speculation. I'll go with my first guy as J.K. Dobbins. All right, Penn State only allows 75 yards per game on the ground. I think J.K. Dobbins doubles it. So I saw a couple 200-plus predictions. I'm not going to go that far, but I'll say J.K. Dobbins gets 165 and a couple scores against this vaunted defense and just proves that, once again, that he is the top back in the Big Ten. Receiver-wise, I'm going to go with K.J. Hill. This is the type of guy. I love K.J. Hill. I've said this for years. You know, Corey. Mm-hmm. K.J. Hill is my guy, and he's 10 grabs away from the all-time Ohio State record for most receptions in a career. I don't think he's going to get all 10 grabs this week, but I think he's going to get 5 or 6, maybe 7, and then break it against the Wolverines next week. K.J. Hill, I'll go ahead. I'll say he's got 7 grabs for 90 yards and a touchdown. Love me some K.J. Hill. Defensively, I love to think that Chase Young will come out and have 4 sacks, and he just might because he's the best player in college football. But I'm going to say as a team, just due to the fact that he is back, the Buckeyes as a team have 5 sacks on the day. Take Clifford down 5 times. Maybe Chase Young has all 5 of them. Maybe they dedicate 3 offensive linemen to him and Tyreek Smith's on the other side cleaning up the mess. But those are my bold predictions. I'll go ahead and say Ohio State 38, Penn State 24. 38-24, 14-point game. They don't cover the spread, but they get the win, and that's all that matters. And, hey, it might be a 31-24 game entering the fourth quarter, and we're all going to be shitting our pants. But, hey, you got to have those games, and we haven't really had them this year, so it'd be good to face a little adversity. 38-24 Buckeyes. I got Dobbins and Hill with big games, and the defensive line getting a lot of sacks on Sean Clifford. He's got to be scared, man. He's probably so pissed Chase Young only got 2 games.
Right.
I don't know, man. We'll see. Get back to a few comments to wrap it up here. Matt Bonner says Chase Young 6 sacks. Heath Harris agrees with you. I don't believe they've opened the playbook up to the full potential. Alan Russell. Wow, you know what? Great comment from Alan here. Says Alabama's playing a high school team. I said I'd get it in. So let me just go down the list here. I'm not going to make a huge deal out of it. I'll make a supporter video probably this weekend beforehand and really go crazy on it. But let me list these 5 SEC teams and who they're playing this week, a week before rivalry week, while Ohio State hosts number 8 Penn State. Bama has Western Carolina. Auburn has Samford. Mississippi State has Abilene Christian. Kentucky has UT Martin. And Vandy, I'm not making this team up, East Tennessee State. I am just so done with the SEC scheduling with their 8 conference games instead of 9, which frees them up to schedule that Division II team beat the living crap out of them, as Adam Sandler would say in The Longest Yard. I'm just so done with that, man. Everybody should play the same amount of conference games, and I don't think you should be able to schedule those teams because it's garbage. And they're getting credit for it. It's like Alabama could still sneak into the playoff with a non-conference schedule of like Duke, Western Carolina, and 2 others who you've never heard of, and they'll still be in because it hasn't hurt them before. And I don't think that's right. I don't. So I appreciate Alan Russell bringing that up. I did forget about it. Heath Harris got 42-17 Bucks. Frank Gerhardt agrees, or Gebhardt, pardon me. I believe Ryan Day will keep the first team in the whole game. I'd be okay with that. And a lot of others about Garrett Wilson, Eugene Crafter, Stephen Michael, 48-17. Amber says Fields is amazing. Corey Shoemaker joins late, but I appreciate that. And Josh Robideau says, who's playing Taco State? I don't know. Corey, what are you laughing about over there?
Eugene said the SEC is booty cheeks. I just laughed.
Hey, man. I can't disagree with you. And Alan Russell says, Bumma? Booma? I can't tell by your spelling, man. I just can't. I can't do it. But Bumma, I guess, would make sense because they're bums. Booty cheeks, I guess. As long as they're, I don't know, somebody throw a dumpster juice in there for Corey and we'll be all set. All right, Corey, you got anything over there on YouTube for us?
Let me look real quick. Brian says Jake with the same prediction as himself. So you guys got the same prediction. He also said he would like to see a live stream game with us. He says those were great last year. You know, the ones where we had heart attacks and, you know, we're almost, and you seen the real me come out at halftime.
Both of us, you and me both, brother. I was laying flat on my back on the floor of the studio at the halftime of the Wolverines game.
Oh, man. And that's it.
That's it. Trey Loudermilk says, go Bucks. Appreciate you guys. Matt Nathan. Alan Russell says, they're bums, bro. Hey, they're not getting into the playoffs this year. That's for damn sure. So I've got 38-24 Buckeyes. Corey said, what, 35-17?
35-17.
Look for Justin Fields, J.K. Dobbins, K.J. Hill, and, of course, the Predator is back. The chip on his shoulder. Not only is he going to wreak havoc, but just him being there makes the rest of the defensive line and the defense as a whole that much better. So I'm excited to see it. Buckeyes, Lions, 12 o'clock on Fox this Saturday. Don't miss it. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Give us a like. Subscribe to our YouTube page. We'll be back and in the next few days with supporter videos. I'm sure you can support the page on Facebook, get some behind-the-scenes stuff, a little extra content for you. But that's all we got, man. That's going to do it. So I appreciate everybody once again. Happy birthday, Producer G.
Happy birthday, G.
That's Corey Boyd. I'm Jake Smith. That's all, folks. Go Bucks. OH.
I-O. Peace.
Peace out, and